Darwin is this morning waking up to the aftermath of a shooting rampage.
Does anyone even remember this Darwin shooting? They don't mention it anymore, do they? It just disappeared. Like at the end of the week, whenever that happened, it was gone. It was all done and dusted. They never ever went back to it again. And I think there's a very good reason why.
Local soup kitchen operator Leah Potter watched as this all unfolded.
Most people of my age know the alleged gunman and...
Okay, so this is a well-documented event. Obviously the rules, Google's rules apply. So this is a credible witness that we've got here. Let's just see what she's got to say.
Then a man came up the footpath with a woman in his arms and she was bleeding. All her legs were damaged from shrapnel and...
All right, that's pretty straightforward. She's obviously in the vicinity, and the guy has carried a woman up towards her with the legs are bleeding, and they were damaged by shrapnel. That was her observations. Although I thought this was a shooting. But anyway, look, it's pretty straightforward. He's walked up, and she's bleeding. Now, this is credible witness Matt.
And then there was this man carrying a woman towards me. He put her in front of me, and her legs were covered in blood. She'd obviously been shot.
Look, the stories are the same so far, apart from the observation of the wound. So
he said she'd been shot, and luckily there was a police car just across the road. So he dropped her there and ran over to get the police.
Hang on, wait a second. So he's got a woman who's bleeding, obviously been shot with shrapnel, whatever's happened to her, and he knows where the police are because he goes straight over there. So why didn't he just carry her straight to the police? Why did he bring him and put her in front of Matt and Leah, who just come out? Obviously, looks like they didn't have any medical equipment on them. Looks like they couldn't sort of do anything. That's a bit unusual. But
we went back to my room to get some towels.
Okay, so she said we went back to get some towels. So it looks like she's including Matt in the story now. And they've both got to get towels. We've got to get towels. But hang on, I didn't know the guy ran off to get the police. So now she didn't describe anyone else was there, and there's no other witnesses that they've brought up that said that they were right there. So he's put the woman down, and Matt and Leah have taken off, and he's taken off. So looks like she's on the ground just by herself. All right, so we'll just let Matt corroborate that story.
So I went and got a towel for her, wrapped up her legs.
All right, what the fuck's going on here? He's saying he went and got the towels and wrapped them up. He's not mentioning Leah at all. She's saying we did. So surely Leah would remember whether she went and got towels or not. She definitely went and got them. Is this guy just trying to steal all the glory? Does he just want to be the only hero? He doesn't want to give Leah any credit? Sure. I mean, this is like there's deaths and everything. Surely he couldn't be that petty, could he? And again, perhaps he's late at night. He's not. Maybe there was 2 scripts. He didn't get the final draft. He just say what he. Oh no, hang on! Whoa! Oh, stop! This is a well-documented event.
Wrapped her up and then put her in the police car.
Okay, she may or may not have been left there by herself. Just forget about that for a second. The important thing is that she is all wrapped up, and now they've put her in the police car, which for some reason the guy didn't take her to in the first place. But anyway, she's safely in the police car. What the fuck does he mean he took her around the corner? She said the cop car was on the other side of the road. That's not around the corner. Why does he say she went around the corner? At least it's at the exact same spot dealing with the same woman.
By that stage, the police were running over.
Well, the cops were running over, but Leah said that she was put in the car. But she didn't. Oh, okay, maybe Leah just left that bit out. Forgot to sort of say. The cops come running over. But then you're around the corner. So why'd you go around a corner? Isn't it like harder for the cops to get to you? Why didn't the guy just? I mean, the cops are there. Everyone can see them. Why didn't the guy just take her straight to the cops? He's kind of walked up to you guys at later there, and I guess now you could give a witness account to the media. See, if he hadn't have done that, you wouldn't be talking to us. Neither would Leah. Okay, well, look, their stories seem, a bit disjointed. He doesn't even mention that Leah's there. And she doesn't actually mention him. She just infers by saying we. But look, they've actually got an interview with the both of them together. Nothing
We're
can
joined
go
by
wrong.
three witnesses, Leah Potter and Matt James, who are outside the Palms Motel. Matt, tell us first what you saw and heard just before 6 o'clock last night.
All right, they're both there together. Let's just get this story straight. And better.
Yeah, okay, so I was just standing in the car park.
What the fuck is going on here? What have we got, like dueling crisis actors? Oh, sorry, no, I mean witnesses? Because he said I was in the car park. She gone, oh, he's jumped in first. They're going to do his story. I might as well leave. It's a very unusual gesture that she did for... Stop. I can't make heads or tails.
There were shots fired, and not long after that, a guy came running up to me with this woman in his arms.
And he just said, he went up to me. I could see why Leah, she's been sidelined by this guy. Who are the witnesses or they're not? These archie-barchie shit that's going
on. She was screaming out that she'd been shot.
Hang on a minute. He didn't say that she said anything. Surely he would have remembered that when he did the interview. It's pretty critical. She said that she'd been shot. And I could see why Leah's getting...
he said she'd been shot.
Okay, well, that was her before, because she said that the guy said that she'd been shot. And he's saying that she said she'd been shot. I mean, those witnesses, despite all that kind of, trying to vie for attention, but should they be like, changing the story? I thought when they got them both here, this was all fucking sorted.
He was saying that he had no idea why this shooter was approaching them.
Now he's saying he got into a big longer conversation and he's contradicted Leah because she said he ran over to get the cops. Yeah, look, she's got a grievance with the Crisis Actors Union here. No, this is real. It's all real. She certainly certainly got a grievance somewhere. That's with the script writers.
She was bleeding ankles.
And that was unusual because the only time they lost audio was when Matt was describing the injury to the actual injury to the legs, which then could be cross-checked with hospital records. But unfortunately, the sound dropped out, and all we hear was bleed, ankles. That's it.
And he basically just placed her at my feet and was frantic. She was hysterical also.
There was some police over just across the road doing something else.
Okay, so he sort of, tailed off that, they were just both hysterical. He didn't eat you, but then Leah's come back in. Good on you, darling. Don't let him fucking steal all the limelight. You get in there and you tell him your story about how they didn't just stand there talking about, the ins and outs of the shooting and what was in the shooter's mind or anything. You get back in there and say, no, he ran across the road. Good on ya. Leah's story, it's got a few holes. You just said the cops were doing something else. Then they ran over. They could see what was going on. No, he said they ran over. They said they went and got the cops. Like a random breath test or something, or put some guy for speeding. They didn't notice. There were the gunshots going on. Oh, look, Leah's come back in. I'm not sure it sort of helps the story too much, but look, for her sake, I'm glad she did.
And the guy got those cops and we got the woman into that police car.
Okay, all right, she's back in the frame. This guy's looking pretty fucking pissed off. He thought he had it. Anyway, she's back in with her story. Now she said we put her in the police car, which makes sense. Like, why would the cops run over and pick her up when they could just pick her up themselves if they got the towels? So anyway, that's fucking. Let's see what he can do about this.
Just in case the gunman came back to her.
Yeah. Leah, this must have been...
Yeah, Matt. Yeah, Leah's come back in. Yeah, you agree with that. I'm not sure what's... Look, maybe they get a base rate, right? And then if they can, be extra convincing in these interviews, they can get a bonus. They get a bonus. That's what he's trying to do. She's trying to keep her bonus. I'm not too sure, but anyway, Leah's back in. She's back in. In fact, Sam just asked her a question.
I mean, I ran back and...
Did you know what was going on?
Okay, Sam Armitage can see it. It's all falling apart. When she said, "Did you know what was going on?" That's code for get your fucking story fucking straight. What? Look at her look on Sam's face. She's like going, "Oh fuck, this is all falling apart."
That's you.
Oh, look, man, try not to look too pissed off. After this performance, neither of you are getting a bonus. They might even not pay you at all.
Well, I can't hear what she's saying.
Yeah, because earlier on, when she pulled away, you can see her she's pulled her earpiece out in disgust. And while she's off camera, she's thought, "No, fuck this, I'm going back in." And she forgot to put her earpiece back in. This is the first time Sam's asked a question. They were both just telling stories before. Now she doesn't have her earpiece in. She's got herself back in. She's got to put.
She's asking if you know what was going on.
No, we didn't know what was going on at that point. We thought that woman's legs had been injured.
Hang on, you didn't say you thought they were injured. You said they were bleeding and she had shrapnel. As well as being there when he's saying that, they were gunshot wounds. Sam's going to regret getting her back in.
Later on,
Right
we saw
about
the
now.
gunman being apprehended by the TRG. Then we went to another place, the Palms Motel. That's where we saw that a man had actually been killed, Matt.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen two witnesses speak to each other and go, "Isn't that right, Matt?" Okay? And he's gone, "Yep," really reluctantly. This is just so fucking odd.
Yeah. And Matt, did you worry about your own safety? I mean, this guy allegedly had a pump-action shotgun. Did you see that?
Yeah. I didn't see that.
He didn't see it. Otherwise, he could have given testimony in court under oath. Now he doesn't have to.
But, I mean, I clearly saw the damage, buckshot injuries to all of her legs. I mean, it took me a long time to connect the sounds of gunshots to what I was actually seeing.
Okay, look, as bad as Maddie is, that's who Sam's gone with. She had to make a decision. They've turfed Leah. They're going with Matt. But Leah did leave, Matt with "Isn't that right, Matt?" So she's got her story in, which I'm sort of a little bit happy about. But, Matt's sort of not proving to be that good. And he says now, he's describing, buckshot wounds, gunshot wounds. Now he's saying, I couldn't really connect the gunshots to what I was seeing, even though that's all he's done for the whole fucking interview.
As being the result. And, I mean, we don't expect that here or anywhere. I don't think that there was any sort of connection as to what was actually happening and, that it was real.
Badass. The question is whether it's real. We all got that question right now, Matt.
Well, somewhat. I mean, I have some background knowledge with regard to him, and he's a well-known criminal. He's a well-known person to police. That he could get out and be on parole.
Yeah. See, now Matt's getting out the message. Leah's gone. He's the one that's now going to talk about the laws, which is these, parole laws, and how, we didn't expect this in Darwin, but now that it's here, that's what we're going to have to do. All the while, using words like, I have background information on the gunman, which is something, normal people say. Then they say, yeah, I knew him. Yeah, or I knew a guy who knew him. Yeah, I had background information.
Then we saw the alleged gunman.
All right, Matt's had a really good go there. So for you fans of Leah, I'm just going to revert back to one of her earlier interviews, and let's see her in fine form.
Apprehended up on Daly Street. The TRG were there with a roadblock and they took him down the taser and they had really large weapons. Then, while that was going down, we saw one of the cops commandeered a bicycle.
All right, she's getting wound up now. So she saw a cop commandeer a bicycle with their cars there.
from just a random.
from a random what? Place? Person? Oh, she's good at improvising, this girl.
And he jumped on this bike and started riding towards us, and I thought, where's he going?
Why would you care where he's going? He's just riding off somewhere. There's a guy being arrested. There's plenty of other stuff to entertain you right now.
We followed him.
All right, I don't know why she has to give an explanation as to why they followed him. But how did they follow him? Like, he was on a bike, and he obviously needed a bike to go somewhere fast. She didn't say, we can, we got a bike from a random. She doesn't say we jumped in a car and look at her condition. I'm not sure she could keep up with a bike. But anyway, she's following this cop. I don't know how fast he's going, whether he's going at walking pace, obviously. So why he took the bike, I don't know.
And the scene that we came across was, I could not even believe that this would happen in Darwin.
So, just because he went on, did you know there would be a scene when you started following him? Perhaps, yeah, she suspected, oh, this might be worth following this cop, even though there's plenty going on here. And now she's free to describe the whole scene. Meanwhile, not having witnessed any shooting, and therefore not appearing in court to tell any of this stuff under oath, which is how these always seem to work out.
A man had come through the Palms Motel. He'd shot every window calling this man's name.
Well, she wasn't there when it happened, obviously. So she couldn't know that he was calling out, someone else's name from her own observation. So now, I guess, presumably, she's connecting in different parts of the story, sort of what she saw, and then what she knows about the scene, what she saw later on. See, then she's getting this whole sort of story that she can tell.
And then he'd finally got to the room that the man he was looking for was in, and he shot him dead.
And there she is reading the script, so, going over her observations, but then what she couldn't possibly know, she's then narrating the backstory to what her observations were.
There were women there, they were really quite upset, and that's when I got a call from another friend who's a journalist who told us the name of the alleged gunman, and it's something, he's a local Darwin lad that all of us know. So it's...
the journalist knows someone here, or in this case a witness. There's always that connection. You going to say who the journalist is? Oh, probably not.
It's quite shocking, and Darwin does come together after.
And we reach the most excruciating part of all of these fucking bullshit. I mean, documented events where everyone comes together. You got to hear all about how, someone tried to divide us, but it worked the opposite. We're now more united. So what was this all meant to be about? Because remember at the start, I said that this thing died very, very quickly, and that hasn't been mentioned since. Well, this is, I think, a part of it. This is one of the so-called innocent guys that got killed.
Was killed while he was on a meal break.
He was a nice, decent guy, very humble.
So I think in part they're really going to push almost like a mini Christchurch, because this happened not long after, where you've got a white guy, a crazed white guy, killing a Muslim guy. Oh, all right, I've had enough. Now, I'm just going to finish off with this timeline. And if you remember, these producers said that that guy ran over with that girl. She'd just been shot. And then they said they looked over and he got arrested. When you look at the time frame, he starts off shooting in one area, then goes all the way around town, and he's back about it 45 minutes later. But they sort of don't mention what they were doing for 45 minutes. Just so they looked over and saw him get arrested. So, this is because he's gone around town just, shooting people up. And also, this thing got pulled up short, I'm pretty sure, because these witness actors just made this look just so stupid with all their disjointed script reading. And I think that's why it got wrapped up. So, look, I'd probably, for script writing, I'm going to give this about a 2 out of 10. For crisis acting, I'm going to give it a half, only because they turned up. As for what they said and did, Matt and Leah, I mean, they just totally ruined the whole fucking thing. They couldn't actually, pull through with the psyop anymore. That's how bad it was. But for comedic value, I'm giving it a 9.5 out of 10. And I'm pretty sure, make up your own mind, but I'm pretty sure I'm close to the mark on that. So, all right, let's just watch this last bit and that's it.
Then he attended 19 Finniss Street in the Darwin City area between 5:39 p.m. and 5:52 p.m. Then 18 Gardens Hill Crescent between 5:54 p.m. and 5:57 p.m. The Buff Club at 5:59 p.m. Jolly Street in Woolner between 6:05 p.m. and 6:13 p.m. Peter Macaulay Centre in Berrima between 6:22pm and 6:25pm, and the corner of McMinn and Daly Street, where he was arrested by our General Duties officers and our Territory Response Group at 6:44.